Good afternoon. Did you guys have a good weekend? We had a nice weekend here. It has turned off cold again. I don't know what winter you call this one. Blackberry winter? I don't know. The wind is blowing. It's like gale force winds out there. So it's actually making it feel pretty chilly if you're out in it. It's in the 60s, low 60s. Actually supposed to be like that the next couple days. So I was going to get my tomatoes in the ground, but I'm not going to do that in this weather. I'm not doing it in this wind. No. Look at that. So I'll gauge it. If the wind stops and it's sunny and pretty, I'll do them tomorrow. If not, I'll wait till Wednesday or Thursday. But at that point, it's time to put them in. I've got to get down to my compost pile and dig up some of that good stuff on the bottom and use that to put in my holes where I'm going to plant my tomatoes, kind of put them on my rows to give it some boost, some fertilization. Y'all, I wasn't going to video this because I left my camera up at the greenhouse, so I haven't got my phone, but this has been a hot mess. Y'all, we bought this stuff, and whoever put this stuff together put it on here twisted. One end is going one way, and the other end is going the other. It is ridiculous. I don't know. I'm not even going there. So my father-in-law's been trying to help me. He's going up there to make some steaks, but he's had it caught in the buttons on his shirt. Y'all, I've been laughing so hard. I'm trying not to laugh at him, but we've had a time with this stuff. And I think it's because it's so windy. It's just going everywhere. You'd think the wind would go right through this stuff, but boy, it blows it around. So we're getting there. I have faith this is gonna work. Maybe. All right, we've got it finished. The fiasco's over now if it only works. Now this is our opening. We can just pull one of the stakes up or both of them and enter this way with the tiller. Got a little zip tie holding them, kind of some tension. Little stakes on the corners to hold it up. It's doing pretty good for as big a space it is. It's almost 200 feet around the perimeter. So hopefully it'll keep the critters out. Now, I will say this. My father-in-law said the person he bought it from today, they had some up in their yard one year and a buck went right through it and tore all of it down. Hope that doesn't happen. So, we'll see. To be continued. Alright, you guys, I gotta take a break. This wind is getting me. It's getting to me. I gotta get down to the basement and start draining some of these fish tanks for this lady that's coming to pick these up. I'll show you guys my big tank though. It looks amazing. All the fish in it and everything. Now there's a few fish I don't want to put in it. So I may put me like a little pond in my greenhouse. Just a small one, not as big as the one I had before. And put some of my extra fish in there. We'll see. Good morning. I hope you guys are having a wonderful Tuesday. It is a cool, crisp Tuesday here in East Tennessee. It is probably 10 o'clock and it's about 57 degrees. But I think by the end of the week we're in the 70s again. Today we're in the low 60s and breezy again, so that's going to make it feel a little chilly. But I am going to be working in here a lot today and then some in my basement getting stuff cleaned up. I'll show you guys my fish aquarium. So I've moved most of my stuff to my big tank. I've planted it heavily. It looks amazing, y'all. I've got a few more things to do before the lady comes and picks up my other tanks, but I've also got some planting to do out here. I have a hummingbird vine that I planted last year, and I made this awesome trellis just filled out with flowers, and I'm going to plant those again. They normally reseed, but I put a lot of soil in my raised beds this year, so I didn't know if it would pop up through. So if not, I've got spare seeds. We're going to plant those. And I've just got a list of some things I'm going to be doing around here today, and I'll just take you guys along for the ride, and let's do this. First things first, let's go look and peer into this tank. It is just beautiful. Y'all, it's full of guppies, and I've got it heavily planted to soak up some of these nitrates and things from all the fish. But I've got to add gravel, tweak things, do a few more things, but I think it is coming along nicely. Now, I'll keep the light in the back, but if you move the light to the front, it kind of highlights the fish. So we'll start with there so you guys can look at the fish. Y'all, it's amazing. Now let me take my camera off and we'll peer into here and look at everything that's going on in this tank. Y'all, check out all of the guppies. They are so beautiful in here, just all mixed together in all their beautiful colors. Now, if y'all can see, all of the babies have been in here for several days. Nobody is messing with them. They have lots and lots of hiding spots that they can get in the driftwood. All the plants, rocks, different types of plants I've got going on in here. And then I've got water lettuce hanging from the top that's got lots of roots coming down. Pretty cool. Got snails in here, lots of snails, little snail babies, black corydoras, my plecos. Now here's what it looks like with the light moved back. It brightens up all of the plants and lights up the back part of the tank. Just a different look, but really lets you see all of the plants that I do have in here. Looks amazing. All kinds of little life going on everywhere in here. Super cool, y'all. So I'm gonna use this tank to feed a lot of my plants when I do water changes. And this is a really good fertilizer for seedlings, just stuff in my garden, in my greenhouse, flowers, and it just really brings them to life. So it has a really good relationship with my plants. I found the seeds that I was looking for today. Now, if you're going to plant a vine, this is a pretty one. It attracts a lot of butterflies, a lot of hummingbirds, and a lot of bees. And there are several names for this: cypress vine, hummingbird vine, star vine. This packet's called cypress vine. And if you look at these, I've grown two different types. One has a different type of foliage. But this foliage right here is a little more delicate looking. It's got thinner foliage. The other one is a thicker greenery. And I just love this one. It's so delicate and so pretty. So I'm going to plant most of these with this one this year. Last year it was the other one. But now the flowering is the same. Some of the flowers are all red, but these are multicolored. So I think that would be really pretty. I'm also going to gather some seeds today for my chiropractor. He has a greenhouse and he is into planting flowers and all kinds of different outdoor gardening things. So I'm going to set him up. I've got lots of dried flowers from last year, annuals and some perennials in here. So I'm going to put them in bags and label them, and I'm going to hook him up with those. Y'all, it is beautiful in the greenhouse this morning. This is a beautiful time to be in the greenhouse. It is 70 in here. It's probably a little warmer on this side. Sometimes I'll put like dual thermometers just to see the difference. I need to bring my other one out here to do that. But it is just, oh, I love it in here. It's thriving in here. We are waiting on the glass. They have ordered it. They're saying 2 weeks. So we'll see if it's 2 weeks, but we've got to get some supplies. We have 1-befores up on the top, and we have found that they don't do well in the weather on the top of the greenhouse. So we're going to put like a Trex or a Trex material up there to cap those 404 posts on the top and sandwich in that glass. So I think that's going to work well. So I've got to purchase those and a bunch more sealant that we're going to have to replace as we take this down. So I'll keep you guys updated on that project that's coming up soon. So I'm fixing to drop the seeds in my star vine, and I'm going to do it right at the base of this wire. That way I can kind of fish it up through here. Once it starts coming up, it'll grab a hold of all these things, and it will fill in so thick. It'll be amazing. And I also do it on the other side of this trellis. That way they'll just kind of meet in the middle. So that is what the seeds look like. I got some onions from last year, and these are the ones that are left over that I sprouted. And I'm going to separate these and show you guys how I do that and how I get them to develop a few more roots over the next week, and then we'll plant them in one of my raised beds. Okay, so you want to take the onion, and this is the sprout coming off of it. This is the bulb, and then these are the roots. So you want to peel it and get the paper off of it, because this was one onion last year, but you're going to be able to get more from it this year. Now, we harvested a lot of onions. Me and my father-in-law, we love them. We grow a lot. And then I saved a few from these to use for next year's planting, because obviously you can get several from one onion. Now, if you can see this, the two sprouts right here, kind of gently pull at it. You can see where it's dividing right there. Now you've got two to plant. Now what I suggest doing is you can remove some of that old root right there. And you want to take this and put it down in some water for about a week until it roots, and then it's ready to be planted. So I'm going to go ahead and do that with all of these that I've got here. Right, so I've placed these out here under my covered area, under my porch, and we will see how long it takes. I'll keep you guys updated on the progress, and then we'll move on to the next step with these. Alright guys, I've made my way back to the greenhouse again. I've decided to harvest some of the seeds off of a bunch of my dry flowers for my chiropractor. So I've got some of these going on. I've got him some marigold seeds. I have so many of those. These are, like I said, some of my favorite ones I showed you guys in the last video. And there are so many seeds from these. I'm going to share some of my large sunflowers. If you guys go to my Facebook page, I took a picture of that sunflower. It's in one of my videos last year. The head on it was just one of the biggest ones I've ever seen. So these are the seeds from that. Hopefully they'll produce some really large ones as well. My experiment is to get the largest one from those and just keep going, but this thing's gonna have to really be staked because it's gonna be really heavy. I started some of these too in my flats to see if they would germinate. So those two rows right there are marigolds. You can see that they're starting to get their first set of true leaves right there. Rare zinnia. I'm hoping it comes up. I've got some coreopsis that I saved. I had them up front in one of my whiskey barrels. They are very minuscule, y'all. I'm going to sift them. So if y'all can see that, there's the coreopsis seeds. You can see that compared to this right here. Little bitty seeds. More seeds. These are really dry. These may be from the previous year. I can tell that's a purple one. There's some gorgeous purple ones I had last year. Y'all, all of them were pretty actually. There was one in here that had massive pretty pink petals, so I made sure I saved that one as well. I really honestly have a slight addiction to saving all of my seeds. It's very therapeutic harvesting them. Alright, last thing on the list for today was I had some old banana pepper seeds. These were from not last summer, but the summer before, so they're 2 years old. And I want to see if they're going to germinate because they were really good. I mean, I put them in a jar with some pickling juice. I had a little recipe for that, and they tasted so good. So I have put them inside of a wet paper towel, and I'm going to close them off in a Ziploc bag so they'll stay moist, and we're going to see if they'll germinate.